The nod. Morning, carpers. Here we are at the coking farm. Just dipping your landing nets and your wave slings. As fishery rules, must dip before entering the lake. So I know some of you think it's a little bit tedious. Why bother? Because they're dry anyway. It's the welfare of the fish and diseases. You know. If we don't do it and the fish die, we won't have nowhere to fish, will we? Morning. So just make sure you dip all your kit. Just shove it in there.
What do I?
And then you just let it drip dry. Yes. Job done. Afternoon, carpers. If I look cold, it's because it is bloody cold. Right, this weekend, it is February the 6th today?
No, 7th.
No, sorry, 7th. We're here for 48 hours. And we're a few hours into that 48 hours. It's February, like I said. Our first session of the year. Last year, our first session of the year was in March, and that was cold. But the reason being we were on the bank so early is because Rob over here, this is not a lot, he's purchased a new bivvy. He didn't like my one because it was too short. It was. It was too short for him. He couldn't stand up in it. Basically, he was too tall. So he's gone for the new Avid XL screen house. It's the larger one of the two. It comes with a meter porch, which we haven't put on. And to be fair, we both thought we wasn't going to get this up. It's a case of doing it blind. It didn't really come with any instructions really. You have to think about it and sort it out yourself. But Rob can stand up in it to the point he's got about another foot or foot and a half above his head. First impressions, it's okay. Can't give it too bad of a rep because it's blowing a hoolie and it ain't ideal to put up in the wind, especially if there's turbia, which we struggled and we both thought to ourselves, this ain't going up. We're going to have to go home and get my old one, which is at his house, which is probably nearly 2 hours away from here. So we persevered, we got it up, and then the wind was taking the pegs straight out of the ground. So we had to go to the shop and buy some extra long pegs. So we've now got 12-inch pegs. Oh, I haven't told you, we're at Coking Farm on Birch Lake, which is their new lake. Fish have been coming out, apparently, according to social media. You know, they've been coming out, but they've been coming out on the opposite side of the bank. I've messaged 2 or 3 people on Facebook and they was all on the 130s side and we're on the 140 side. So yeah, all the fish was coming from the other side. So yeah, so that's where we're at on the lake. We're on peg 145 here to the Sunday, and like I say, we struggled to put this thing up. it was.
You blew away a
You
few
get the
times.
poles. You get the poles in, and the wind just takes it, and it just collapses again. It's a bit bizarre how it went up, but we've got our head round it, and we eventually got it up. So putting it up for the very first time in the wind probably isn't ideal. I will, if the weather permits me, I will do a little video of it on the outside and whatnot, and then I'll do like a little review. But that's weather dependent, because at the minute it's like I say, it's blowing a hoolie, it's raining, it's sleeting, it's snowing. And we had a bit of summer when we first arrived. It's like 4 seasons in one today. So yeah, it's not looking good weather-wise. But like I say, if there's a break in the weather, and I'll try and do a bit of a video about it. There's a couple of things which is a little bit niggly, but they're just small things. But those small things could make big improvements. But like I say, height-wise, yeah, it's got the height. So if you want something you can stand up in, and you're 6'1" plus, ideal. Yeah, it doesn't come with an inner shelter, but you can get an inner shelter for them, like an inner dome. And like I say, you've got a porch what goes on the outside, which we haven't bothered with this weekend because of the wind. That'll give you another metre past the door. It doesn't come with a letterbox system, so you can't zip down the front and like open it like a letterbox. It doesn't allow you to do that, which is a small thing but a big feature. And then there's little things on the window here. It's got zips either side, but at the bottom it just flaps around in the wind. So it could done with just a couple little strips of Velcro maybe, you know. Like I say, a small thing, but that would make a big improvement. But overall, it's 3 meters by 3 meters inside, and then like I say, with the extra porch, it's an extra meter, so that gives you 4 meters in total. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's that it has got a bit more room than what mine had, and he's well happy because he can stand up and jump up and down in it. So yeah, that's where we're at. We got on here about, there's no one on the peg, so we let us on at 9. So I knew the rain was coming in, or the weather was going to change, so we thought, right, let's get the bivvy up first before we worry about the rods. Well, that took us over an hour to put the bivvy up, just because we was fighting with it in the bloody wind. And as soon as we got a corner down, as soon as we pegged the corner down, the wind was blowing it straight back out. So yeah, we struggled. As a lot of you probably know, if you come to Cocoa Farm, it's best to come with extra long pegs on any of their lakes, because the grounds are so soft. A lot of their pegs, I know on Oak Lake is bark, birch is gravelled pegs, and I think Long Lake is just grass, I think, if I remember rightly. But the ground is so soft, the small pegs will just come straight back out. So you will wake up in the morning with your bivvy either on top of you or halfway across the field somewhere. So yeah, you will need extra long pegs. So we went and bought some. So we're all pegged out, we're all set up, rods are on the dance floor, Rob's made a coffee. Yeah, we was going to go hot chocolate and a bit of special milk, the old Baileys, but we've gone for a coffee with a drop of rum. Let me tell you what it tastes like. Oh, yeah. That tastes more rum than coffee, 100%. That'll warm the cockles. Anyway, we're going to sit here and have a bit of a chit chat, and I'll leave it for now. Any carpy happens, I'll catch up with you later. Until then, keep on carping.
Keep on carping.
Afternoon, carpers. Nothing to report yet, but just thought I'd show you. Whoever's got one of these, which was most carpers, to be honest, you probably all struggle getting it to balance, and it's, you know, it's that finding that fine point where to balance it. But I found something. Just thought I'd share it with you. Sit that on there like that, and that'll sit on there like that. How clever! Look at that. You know, simple. Just a little device. Stu cooks a kettle, Stu cooks a ridge monkey, and it becomes a lot safer than just having that on its own. Just thought I'd share that with you, that was all. Happy carping. Yep. Morning, carpers. Just a morning update. Nothing to update, really. It stopped raining. That's a bit of an update. Still a bit windy. Met Office says it's a northeasterly wind. According to the compass, it's a north wind. And a lot of rain yesterday. I think we're going to struggle. I think it's turned the lake off a little bit. I was talking to a chap down when I went down to use the facilities. So I had to reel in, and so I've redone the rods. I went down to use the facilities, and I was talking to a chap down there. He's on order, which is more of their runs water. He's had one 12-pounder last night, and that's it. So I think this north wind and the rain's turned the lake off. But we've redone the rods for the morning, so we can only hope and pray that we might have some. Apart from that, ain't a lot of update on. Just a quiet night. Apart from the geese. Yeah, they're quite loud. Making their noise and flapping their wings and scaring themselves silly. But yeah, still a north wind, but dry. So yeah, we're at least it's dry today, and the wind isn't as strong. Well, it's meant to die down a little bit. It's still going to be windy, but it's going to die down. But it's coming from the north all weekend, which ain't ideal, but never mind. We start the morning off like we always do. Hot chocolate and Mr. Carp King, Chris Fennell, special milk. So yeah, that's what we start the morning with. And it's very nice too. So, unless anything carpy happens, we're going to cook our breakfast. No, sorry. I'm going to cook our breakfast. And then we'll catch up with you later. So, see you later, carpers. Keep on carping.
Keep on carping.
Afternoon, carpers. The time is 5 to 2 on Saturday. Now, it's still blowing north, still very windy, to be fair. As you can see in the distance, it is misty, but at the minute we have no rain. So I was just going to do a quick tour of the peg, really. Now, Birch Lake is a fairly new lake, and they opened back in November of 2024. So, as you can imagine, it's still very, the ground's very soft, as I explained yesterday with the peg situation, but it will come. So this is your your peg you get. So you get a gravelled peg, and then so that's where they would like you to put your bivvy, even though ours isn't on there. Look, so ours isn't quite on there, but this is the gravel peg they'd like you to put your bivvy on, and then I just kicked it. Sorry. So you have a peg. So you have a stake with your peg number, and it says Birch Lake. That's on every peg. And at the side of your peg is this little gravel area, which are for your rods, if needed. So you can put your rod pod there, or your bank sticks on there, with your bivvy here. Let's zoom back in, with your bivvy here. Now, this is like it on this side, and I believe it's the same on the opposite side. Now, if you've got a north wind like we've got, you want to put the back of your bivvy to the north wind, which is what we've done there. But if you add that bivvy on this gravel area here, so you put the back end to there, you can't use that little gravel area on the left hand side for your rods, because the back of the bivvy will be at the back of your rods will be at the back of your bivvy. So it would have been nice just to have the same here. So if they had built one of them this side, so each side of your peg, it wouldn't matter if you had your bivvy to your back of your bivvy which end of the lake, because you could have faced your rods. So if we had our bivvy like we've got but on the stones, ideally you'd like your rods there. So it would have been nice. I think it's just a nice touch if they'd have put that both sides. That's the only negative on that. The lake itself, it's a nice lake. It is a nice lake. It's like a big oval type shape with an island down the middle of it. And I did bring my drone, but I ain't going to do any drone footage because it's just too windy. Now, what I've discovered, and it is on their map. It is on their map, so there's no arguing. Oh, let me try and focus this in now. Let me try and hold it. So there's a post there, but that post is the post to 145. So you're allowed to fish from that post there to that post there. And then 146 swim is from that post to the end bank there. Now, what I will say is, zoom back in, that post isn't dead in line with your 145 sign. So that sign there, it's not bang in line. So basically what it is, let me see, there's your sign, and you go straight up, and then your post is there. So basically your water is, I'll use my hand if I can, your water, no, that ain't gonna work, it's sort of a pointing to the left. It's not very, I can't really do it any justice, unfortunately. So let me put my bank stick, hang on, let me see if I can use that. So I'm trying to use that as a reference point, so I'm going to zoom you back in. So my swim is like that, and the 145 post with Birch Lake on, which is to the right hand side just there, and that post which has got a yellow top to it, it's at that angle. So your bivvy's square, and so your water's going at an angle, going away from you. So basically, you're all fishing to the left. We're quite fortunate. There's no one next door in our swim. So we could fish direct in front. But if I fish directly out in front of me, so if I wanted to go from my gravel area straight out in front, you will then become in next door's water. So when coming to this lake, just be mindful before you find your spots or put your rods out. Look at the posts on the bank, and the post which is sort of off centre to you is your starting point, and then the post to the left of you is your finish point. Have a look on their map if you're unsure, because I wouldn't want any of you to get your rods out, find your spots, get on the fish, and then someone rocks up next door and they start kicking off because you're in their water. So just be mindful from your 145 post or whatever post swim you're in. You fish from that post across. So yeah. So now we're just going to pop in 144 swim. Now he fishes. So there's 144. So that peg that I showed you there, that's my start point. But that's 144 end point. So his start point is that post there, which when I'm standing in the swim is dead centre. Well, not dead centre, sorry, it's to the right. So 144. So 144, find those two vans there. So that peg there, that's his starting point. And you come along, all there. His finish point is that one there, which is off centre from me. So 144's peg is off centre to the right. So all I'm saying is just be mindful when you get here and you start fishing. Just look for the post. So what I think, now I'm talking to you and looking at the situation. So 144's gravel for their rods is to the right of the stones. Mine's to the left. So if I stand in 144 here, where the rod's meant to go, the post opposite is just slightly to the edge of those stones. So just these stones are in line with that post. So that rods go here, that's your start point there. Now, if I just nip into my swim and stand on my stones, which I think I just discovered. So I'm now stood in my stones, and my start post is just on the edge, just slightly to the left where my rods would start. So that would make sense. So that's why they've done the gravel areas for their for your rods, basically. But it doesn't say that. But it would be nice if they put. I'm just saying, from my point of view, if you've got your bivvy facing this way, your rods would be, the rod bit that they designed would be behind you. And I would have liked my rods here, maybe, with the bivvy on the gravel. If your bivvy is facing the opposite way to what our bivvy is now, the rods would be in front of you. So I can see why they've done that. And then that bit there where your rods would go is virtually opposite the post on the middle island. But you could still put your rods here if you got your bivvy like we have to the north wind and just fish at an angle to the post. But yeah, apart from that, it's a nice lake, and I've missed two. I've caught two. Well, I say I've caught two. My right hand rod went off, struck into it, had a bend in the rod, reeled it in for two or three times, and then it just spat the hook. That was earlier on, and then the middle rod. Sorry guys, my battery went flat on my camera. As I was saying, I've had two now, two takes, and they've been very finicky takes. Like they drop back, like beep, 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 go back, and they go up towards the bobbin, and they stay up against. Sorry, the bobbin goes up against the bite alarm, and you strike into it. You get a bend in the old rod, and you get it, 2 or 3 winds in, maybe 4, and it just spits the hook out. That's happened to me twice now. The guy next door to me, he's had the same thing. It's happened to him. So yeah, it's not really sure. There's one guy over there. He's had 2 fish, 3 fish now, I think. Another one's had 1, and then the biggest one come out of that side, out of the opposite side of the lake, was a 24 pounder. But we've got the wind, and if you walk round to go to the toilet, you can walk behind our bivvy around that way, but the shingle or gravel path stops, and it just goes to a muddy, swampy. So we walk all the way around because it's gravelled all the way around that way. The way you drive in, it's all gravel. Then you stop in the car park, and then you got a gravel path. But if you want to go round the back of us, yeah, it's just a swamp because they haven't carried on the path all the way around. See, you walk all the way around, you can't feel no wind. The water's flat calm. Yes, it's strange. It's like a different world over this side. So they've got literally no wind and nothing. And the fish have even apparently the people that side, the fish have been washing out of the water as well. But I've been watching the water this side this afternoon because we haven't had no rain. But even though it's raining now and my camera's getting wet now, so I'm gonna have to speed up this little bit. It's not rained all afternoon, so I've been watching the water. Nothing. There's no sign of fish anywhere. So I was looking for signs for fish. So I gotta go. No. That's right. I think I might have a fish on, but it might be a bream because it's just bending my rod. But I'll get back to you. Well, carpers, I was just having a chat with you, and I seen my rod tip go round, so I thought I'm going to strike into that. And this is what we got. £12.4, but I have got to zero the scales. Sorry? Oh, sorry, I'm being corrected by my partner. Not that sort of partner, but my mate partner. £12.8, but I have got to take the waistling off because I haven't zeroed it yet. So yeah, that had a bad result. The blank's out the way. Pressure's off. So yeah, into the last night we go. So middle rod. Let's see what we can get more. Right, thank you very much.
We'll press the square one.
Well, you spoke now, so just press it, mate. I've got to try and edit that out now, as the idea was is you pressed it for me. Well, carpers, that was a bit eventful. I was chatting away to you, and I just see my rod tip go. Bobbin didn't move, so I thought, you know, I've got to struck into. I've got to have a look at this. And then it turns out that I did have one on, as you see in the picture. It came out once I weighed the wasteling, so it was only an 8-pounder, but he'd wiped out me other 2 bloody rods. I've got one out so I've got 2 rods out. The other one, I binned it off for tonight. It started to pee down, and I thought, you know what, I can't be bothered. It's been a slow old session, as you know. So I got I've got a rod out there. So I've got 2 rods out there now, so I thought that'd do. So we've had dinner. Time is 20 past, coming up to 20 past 6. So yeah, last night, got to be off at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to have a cup of coffee to warm up. And then we'll see you in the morning. If not, we'll see you in the night with a cut. Good morning, carpers. And I'm going to say a lovely morning it is. The sun's just trying to peek up through. Hang on. The time is 7:45. So hopefully we're going to get that sun. Because everything is frozen. So I'm hoping that everything is going to try and get a little bit defrosted. Look, frozen solid. So I'm hoping that we can get it defrosted and try and fold it up and put everything away. So yeah, with a bit of luck, we can get that done. Let's just turn you around quickly. So there you are, morning. So yeah, it's probably the best it's been since we've been here. The lake is a lot flatter, calmer. In the corner we are here, so the corner to my left, it's like a mill pond. From just beyond 144's peg, it's a little bit ripplier, but it is flat calm where we are. The wind's changed direction, and we knew today was meant to be, the forecast said it was going to be sunny. So yeah, it is just solid. So we're hoping that sun can poke up through those clouds and then thaw everything off. We've got to be off. Well, we're going to be off by 10 o'clock, but I'm not panicking on that one. I'll get the rods in by 10. And we ain't packed up now, ain't too bothered, but at least we're not fishing. So yeah, it's a touch cold, shall we say. Even though it's a frost, I wouldn't say it's as cold because the wind's disappeared. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to close it here now. Rob's just making a hot chocolate. I'm going to draw a close here, and then if anything carpy comes along, I've had no more fish, by the way, just that £8 yesterday. But if we have anything carpy come along, then I will share it with you. But I will say keep on carping, and for now, and I will see you on my next journey and my next venture, which I don't quite know where it is going to be yet. I am going to the Big One show. Well, we are, so we are going to that in Saturday. I think we're going. Let me just check that.
Second.
No, we're going the 2nd of March, so that is the Sunday. So we're going to be there then. So we ain't going to be out that weekend. I've got something booked up for April. It's just whether I can get out between now and April. I've got a few things going on, so I'm not sure we're going to get time to get out, but we'll have a look and see what we can squeeze in, if anything. But until then, I'm going to draw it to close unless I get a carp, and I'll come back to you. Keep on carving. See you next time.
Right.
Well, there I was drawing it to a close, carpers. Stood there looking at the sun coming up. Oop, whoop. And this graced my nets. £21.4. That's a nice frosty bonus. Right, let's slip her back and I'll get back to you. Oh, okay. Look, carpers. I said to him, don't move. Then he goes and moves. Right, like I was saying, just done the outro. Stood there, looking at the sun coming up, thinking, oh yeah, that's nice. Looks at my rod tip bends round, beeper's gone off. As you see in the picture, £21.4. So yeah, happy with that one. Been a tough session, very windy, very wet, and a tad cold, but all worth it, and woke up to, well, a very, very hard frost. So yeah, so it's all been worth it now. Happy with 2 fish this time of year. One happy carper, one happy mate. So hopefully we've got one. We've got to 10 o'clock. It's 10 past 8 now. So we might be back, we might not. If we're not, keep carping and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.